Hola, ¿cómo están? And what is going on, guys? DarkScheme here, bringing you some new gameplay on a new big team battle map. And I'll be talking to you guys a little bit about that as well. So as you can see, they've added some new and nice big team battle maps, as well as some Griffball maps as well. And this map is called Altar, and it is a remake of the Halo 3 map, Sand Trap. And for a remake, I honestly have to say it's quite nice. I think one of the biggest things that I was blown away by was how big the map was. Even with Sprint, it took a good while to get to the other side of the map. But the only thing I will say about this map is, because it is new, you can kind of get away with things. I think this game, we were able to run 2 flags on foot, didn't really need vehicles, and we could have easily gotten into a vehicle, I feel like. But that is one key factor, is that having to use vehicles in big team battle maps should be a little bit more essential. I think because this was the first game of big team battle that I believe a lot of people ended up playing for the new maps, I think people still need to get used to it, still need to get used to using the vehicles. But it is quite nice that you are able to still be on foot and use those small corridors on the bottom of the middle of the map. Those are very nice, those are very essential, I think, for those who are looking to jump on foot. And of course, the sniper on this map spawns bottom middle. Rockets, as you can see, spawn on the left side of the map, and I believe a Spartan laser spawns on the right side of the map. So there is a lot of interesting weapon pickups, and I think I'm very happy with this. One of the things that I actually like about this map is how you can actually use the Hydra launcher to its advantage. A lot of people like to pop up, maybe stand behind pyramids, but for the most part, people are going to have to push over to your base to try and capture the flag. So most of the times, what I end up doing is sit back a little bit, wait until they pop up entirely, wait till the Hydra launcher locks onto them, and shoot 3 quick shots. And it's a pretty quick and fast kill from the Hydra. It's a ton of fun. I think this is definitely one of the maps that I will be using to try and finish off my Hydra launcher commendation while playing some big team battle maps. And as you can see here, there's some quite interesting map routes. I think there's like some sort of hills here, so if you wanted to go all the way down low on the left side of the map, you can still use some nooks and crannies to try and stay alive and block a few shots, just to line of sight a lot of your enemies, isolate them away so that they can't shoot you. And like I said, there is still enough room for driving. I think one thing that I would prefer on this map on the right side is a little bit more space to drive the Warthog. I think there's a little too many hills. The Pelican feels like it's a little too close to these little huts to the right. But other than that, I feel like everything plays great. There is a Banshee on this map too. It spawns on the rightmost of the map, and I saw it a few times, but it is quickly taken out. The Banshee is definitely one of the vehicles that can be super powerful if it is not taken care of right away. But on the other hand, there is a Spartan laser that spawns, like I said, on the right side. And the Hydra launcher can lock on to enemy vehicles, even the flying ones. So either way, it can definitely work out in your favor. But definitely use the Banshee to your advantage. Make sure that they cannot pick up the Spartan laser and get an easy kill on you. Looking back at this gameplay and thinking about how the game panned out, I'm not quite sure how it plays being on the red side versus the blue side, but I feel like the blue side has a little bit of a better advantage, personally. I think the blue side's flag is a little bit harder to get, while the red side you can kind of just pick up the flag and run down through bottom middle. Although, again, this is my first time playing it. Definitely need to play it a little bit more. But this is one of the maps that plays pretty well on Capture the Flag. I think the only thing that it's really missing is the elephant vehicle, in which people can just jump on and it's a drivable base. Of course, that isn't in Halo 5, but it would be really cool to have some sort of resemblance of the elephant. Of course, there might be some Easter eggs that I don't know about. I think it would be cool to have at least an elephant model that is kind of just off in the distance to show off and reminisce about this map, because again, this map is definitely one of the Halo 3 maps that had a ton of fun memories on it. So hopping a little bit into the gameplay here, once again you can see people kind of just pushing left, right, and center. And I think this is a great map when you see people pushing in from either side of the bases. I think a few people need to push in a little bit more to the right, but thinking about it as well, the right side might be a little bit more vehicle oriented. So I think the reasons why people didn't really use the right side is because for the most part, the right side huts are kind of center of the map. So once you get in closer to each side of the base, you're kind of exposed and you aren't really in cover. So I really like that about this map. I think once again, we need to get used to playing these maps and using the vehicles correctly. All the gameplay for me personally, pretty much after this I stopped getting into vehicles, and kind of the reason why was because I started to notice that none of my teammates were really jumping into vehicles. So I think once I hop into this map once again, I'll use a little bit more of the Ghost, maybe go for the Banshee once or twice, but other than that, I think controlling the power weapons is actually a ton of fun. I think that's one of the biggest things for me personally, is that the power weapons have timers on them, so there is always an amount of players pushing to get those power weapons. I think the rocket launcher is a pretty big deal to get, push into their base, be able to pick them up off their spawn, get a few rocket launcher kills, and run the flag. But again, it is very tough to try and get that flag. I think one of the hardest parts about getting the flag is that you're inside their base for a good while even after picking it up. And if you want to run it fast, then everybody knows where you are, so it's kind of hard to pick up the flag and want to go fast when you know that they're going to know exactly where you're running it. I think one thing that we ended up doing was running the flag center, and then ended up running the flag, I believe it was once to the right side. So I think we went center and then we went once to the right side here, over where the Spartan laser spawns, and I think the last flag capture, alright, actually that might be the first flag capture that we got, was running it down the left side, I believe. So here's this guy pretty much single-handedly taking the flag to the middle of the map. So as you can see, if you forget about your flag, if you push up too much, if you concentrate too much on their side of the base, that they can easily get this flag out there. And I believe in big team battle, returning a flag takes a little bit longer than normal arena. So you want to be careful when you are returning the flag if you're in an exposed area, kind of where I was. I lucked out. My teammates were pretty much out slaying the other team, and I was able to pick up the flag return pretty quickly. But like I said, if they start running the flag and get to a decent distance away from your base, it'll be very easy for them to relay the flag, pick it up. Even if you kill the guy who's running it second, there will be a third guy to run it because they are spawning a little bit closer to that flag. So I think one thing, and again this is going back to using vehicles, is that you're gonna have to use those vehicles if the flag gets too far away from your own base. Obviously the Banshee is there, and I think the Ghost is a good quick way to get across the map. So I feel like a lot of people need to use the Ghost a little bit more to kind of just overextend and try and get that flag back. Again, this is just purely capture the flag gameplay. I haven't played Slayer on this, but it looks like a ton of fun. I think looking at the power weapons, I think it's the secondary power weapon. The Gravity Hammer is what I'm talking about here. The Gravity Hammer felt a little out of place, but at the same time, it had its uses. I think one of my teammates ended up picking it up and getting 2 kills down low. And I think for this map, the Gravity Hammer has its place, but it also feels like it's out of its place as well. I think this map is a little too exposed, so you're definitely going to have to take those sneaky routes at the very bottom of the map. And once you get into their base, maybe put that Gravity Hammer to use. So you do have to be aggressive, but at the same time evasive when you're using that Gravity Hammer. It would have been interesting to have a sword, but looking at it now, the sword does have this sort of tunnel vision aspect to it because you can zoom in with it, and for the most part you can only really go for 1 kill at a time. So you do get exposed, you sort of lunge at each other, and for those reasons I do believe the Gravity Hammer is a little bit better, but once again, it is hard to use the Gravity Hammer on this map, so I'm still kind of 50-50 on having it on this map for capture the flag. And thinking about it now, I'm wondering how this map will play playing Strongholds and playing Slayer. I'm not sure if those game types are on these maps, but I would imagine they are. And for those wondering as well, they have changed up the Strongholds placements for some of the maps. I believe the map that I played earlier today was Guillotine, and those Strongholds were differently placed. So definitely some nice updates to the Big Team Battle playlist, definitely needed. I think the only thing really missing for the Big Team Battle playlist is a little bit more variety in the maps. So I'm glad that they added these in. Going to be playing a little bit more of Big Team Battle to try and check out all these maps. Again, this is only one of a few that are newly added into the Big Team Battle map. So if you want to try and get into one of these new maps, test it out, see if you like it, give a little bit of feedback on how you feel about it, hop into the Big Team Battle playlist, and don't forget to hop into the Griff Ball playlist as well. There's some new courts. I'm not sure if there are any differences to the courts. Personally, maybe it's just a visual change, but once again, that is there for you guys to check out. But that is pretty much it for me today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the gameplay on this new Big Team Battle map. Big ups to the Forging community for making a great map like this. Hoping to jump into some more new maps as I continue playing Big Team Battle. And as always, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.